Hello, my name's Darrell Williams and I've just qualified as a cognitive hypnotherapist. Got my diploma in February, graduated then, and I'm obviously very excited to be starting my therapy business. And really, I just wanted to tell you about meeting Cathy Simmons. I had a brief conversation with her about what my business might look like, a couple of ideas that I had, and I kept in contact. And Cathy put together a program for me. And from the first instant, I realised that it had so many things that I wasn't aware of, that as soon as I saw them, I knew that if I was to start a business, I needed to get the foundations right. And one of the key things about working with Cathy was that there's a very clear structure, a framework to every piece that you do. And I'm a strong believer of having the end in mind. And when I looked at the whole program and how it was put together, I knew that it had a coherence to it. Now, those are just, those are nice words, but I can't tell you that I've started a couple of businesses in the past and done reasonably well, but they haven't been sustained. And obviously I had gremlins about starting this new adventure. And what I found bit by bit was when I was having a day where the gremlins were, let's say, a little bit more aggressive, all I had to do really was to go back to the framework that Cathy set out and go through a couple of the exercises and actually just remind myself of why I'm doing this, who my audience is, and what's the result for them. And I'm sure I haven't given too much away because I imagine people do work that way. But what Cathy's program does, it just means I don't get distracted. I've got a clear path, but I can adapt it to me. It isn't just following some, smart ideas, some great strategies and techniques. You can't just pick those up and do them in isolation, because what Cathy's created is almost a culture of building a business, a culture that I stick to. I'm incredibly enthusiastic and got lots of energy, and I can often have days where I have so many different ideas and I start them and they never get completed. Why? Because I'm outthinking them and overthinking them. I'm getting myself in the way. And I tell you what, one thing that Cathy's program does, it gets me out the way, but puts me into the program. And in that, I've been able to, most days, just keep on doing bit by bit, piece by piece, more and more, build a business where I stand back from and look at it and go, you know what, that all makes sense. And if anybody knows me, sometimes I've got lots of creative ideas, but they don't always pull in the same direction. And what I've got from Cathy's program is definitely that culture that eats any smart idea, technique or strategy on its own. It eats it for breakfast. The culture of Cathy's program is what's going to make it successful. And I've already had some amazing results. With one client, I was talking in the usual way I do, and I explained that I talk to leaders in education, and normally when I'm talking to a head teacher, it's around what I'm going to do for them, and simply using the idea that Cathy had put into what I was doing about having a package, about having a little bit more longevity. Because in the past, I would go in and do a training program for the whole school. I'd prepare it. I'd set up the agenda. I'd do the day, get paid, and that was it. And I'd be talking to them the following year, obviously keeping in contact. Maybe I'd get, some referral from them. But now I've got a package. It's like I'm their consultant for a considerably longer amount of time, and adding the hypnotherapy element into it wasn't easy. And because of the way that Cathy structured it about what would be the deeper impact for a person to work with me, I suddenly realised I'm talking and communicating with those clients in a way that I can't see anybody else out there doing that. Now, whether it stays that way really doesn't matter. It gives me incredible belief in myself that, you know what, they do need me. They do need what I provide. And maybe I wouldn't have put that message over if I hadn't worked with Cathy over the 6-week program that we did. And to give an exact example, normally from a client like that, I will talk money. I would have earned maybe £2,000, and just packaging it, and that head saying, you know what, my colleagues need this. What my colleagues don't need is somebody just comes in and does a training day for the whole school, and a month later you would walk into the school and not see any difference. What you're providing is a relationship. And so now I'm in the process of signing a £12,000 package with 6 other schools. And one of the key things in it, which is specific, but if I hadn't packaged it, I wouldn't have come up with the idea. And is that about the well-being of teachers in general? I was just training them to deal with teenage behaviour. And now I'm already getting clients coming to me and saying, do you work privately? Will you work with me one-on-one? And I've never had that before. And what is really interesting, through the package, I didn't advertise it. I didn't have to. The package talked about all the things that I was going to do, but not just the things I was going to do. It's the end bit. It's the bit that says, what will be the deeper impact on your life in doing this? And if I were to recommend one thing, which is very, very difficult, to be on Cathy's program, it would definitely be how you package your business together and how you communicate it to prospective clients. And in doing that, it's really helped me deal with the gremlins I think we all have in our belief in ourselves about what will work, what won't. And I've noticed one really important thing. I am so much more productive. I waste less time chasing, what might be a nice idea, but if it doesn't fit in with the culture of Cathy's business planning, I'm already at the point where I go, well, if it doesn't fit, why am I doing it? It needs to fit, it needs to make sense. Otherwise, those gremlins come back because I'm overthinking. And just to end, anybody contemplating to work with Cathy, she's incredibly committed. And one bit of advice I'd give you, be very committed yourself. And I'm sure we all are. It's just Cathy gives you the road to walk down instead of being sidetracked off on tributaries and by roads and B roads or whatever it might be. I hope that's been helpful. Good luck in everything you do.